My mom is a complicated person that tends to push people away.
Mm-hmm.
Over the last few years, that has resulted in her mostly like kind of just being either unto herself or like having issues with a lot of folks in the family, kind of myself excluded. Granted, we've been like a little up and down throughout that period as well. So, like, delicate relationship, sort of. Um, in some ways, good, but in other ways, yeah, challenging. Recently, after a few years dating hiatus, she has gotten back out there, which is great for her. Like, I guess I support that, cool with it, not worried about it, whatever. But she doesn't have like a lot of people to talk to about it, so I feel like she's trying to treat me as one of her gals, I guess. I don't know, like she's
Of
filling me in on
course.
just way too much details. So like, she's telling me like, oh yeah, I was like staying at his place or whatever, and I'm like, I don't care. I just don't need to know, kind of a thing, or like
Right, right.
just saying all sorts of crazy shit, like about how she's a blonde bombshell, and all these men want to sleep with her, or like um, how she's like these men are drinking her with their eyes. At one
Oh
point,
no.
she was on the back of this dude's motorcycle, and she sent me a
Whoa.
video where she's like
She sounds
You
rubbing
awesome.
love
his
some-
shoulders while he's driving, but then she pans down and he's like groping her thigh. I'm just like, I don't need to see this shit. I don't care that that's what you're up to, kind of a thing. So like my predicament, I would like to not be in the know about this stuff.
Right, right.
The obvious move is just be direct about that, but my mom does not really accept pushback in any way. She kind of
Yeah.
just cuts people out for like seemingly small things. Like it would probably just spiral. I'm
Mhm,
stuck between those two paths.
mhm. Um, it's so funny. She says, first of all, she sounds cool.
Yeah.
Let's get that on record. It's awesome that she's on the back of motorcycles.
Yeah.
She's out and about. Later in life, I mean, you know.
She's like, I stayed the night and I had to crawl to the bathroom from the bedroom because he blew my shit out so good.
Now, I will say, I do have to say, everything she's shared with you has been pretty much on the line of acceptable so far. Except for the video of him grabbing her thigh. Everything else, I'm like, and look, drinking in with eyes is like, she's just a very powerful wordsmith.
That phrase in particular to me sounds worse than even if I heard like a sexual detail from a parent or something.
Yeah, her greatest crime is too potent language. Just having too strong a pen. But look,
that's the one that floats through my mind. When I don't want
that one's tough. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I have to also give her credit because so far everything could be on like CBS. She hasn't even gotten to like the HBO level of like I was expecting when this started like Sex and the City, you're at the brunch table, she's Samantha type shit, but it has been kind of innuendo-ish to the point where part of me feels like you have to draw the line of like, look, I don't want to see a guy groping your thighs, but I also think there's a little room for you growing up a little bit too. It's like, look, your mom spent the night at a guy's house. Fucking grow up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She didn't say I sucked his cock in his in his Lincoln on the way to his fucking house. Like, yeah, she's dating, whatever. I do think there's a little bit of you having to. This feels to me like a classic compromise situation where it's like, look, your mom is like this. You know it. She's difficult. You're gonna have to be a little more uncomfortable than you'd like. But I also don't think you need to be like. And I don't think this needs to be a discussion. This should be more of like a learned thing. Like, Ma, hit her with a TMI from time to time, but stay in the like. Even when I think the solution is not a direct. You're right. Your mom sounds like the kind of person if you sat her down and made it feel dramatic, she would then up the ante and be like, oh, if you feel this way, maybe I just won't talk to you at all or some shit like that. So I think the solution here is course correct while it's happening. Right? if she's like, Ma, if she says something like drinks them in with eyes, be like, Ma, that feels a little too much. Why don't you just say you met a lot of guys at you know, there was a lot of guys checking you out at the singles event or whatever. Like, I think that's the answer here is like, it's like, oh, I'm glad you're having fun, but I don't want to see another guy. I don't want to see a guy groping you. You know what I mean? Like, how about next time just send me a video of the motorcycle? Or you know what I mean? Like, that's how I guess I would approach it if your mom is the kind of person that you can't be super direct with for fear of alienation.
Do you ever push back at all when she tells you any of this shit that just makes you like recoil kind of? Are you like, oh, Ma, come on. Making me fucking sick, you whore.
The play is usually I just don't respond, but then after a while that turns into like a fine. I guess I just won't share anything. Like,
right. See,
just kind of out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, now she's bent out about that, and if I try to address it, she has a way of just kind of dragging shit into deeper and deeper water.
But so here's the thing. I will say this, though. You can't just ignore it. Because, by the way, probably a little bit of tough realization here is like, it's not a coincidence that you're the one guy she still fucking talks to. Because you're the one who just lets her do whatever the fuck she wants, right? So it's like, I think you have to have a medium of, you got to call her out on some of this shit, and you got to take again, you can compromise a little bit. You can let her go off every once in a while as long as she's not being fucking gross. But I think you need to address some of this shit because you're not really having a real dialogue with your mom. You're just the one person who won't push back on her at all. Whereas I think you need to, if you want to have a real sort of fruitful relationship with her that you get something out of too, it's making it clear when your needs are sort of not met, or in this case, like, you know, your boundaries are being fucking pushed past of like what you do and don't want to hear. I just don't think it has to be like, dramatic. I think it can be as simple as like when it's happening, be like, Mom, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that, but tell me how the date, you know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, it's great that you're on the motorcycle. I don't want to hear that, but like, what's he into? How did you feel about the connection, right? Like, redirect the gross shit into shit you are comfortable about hearing is how I would handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Like, the redirection seems like a good play because it's not to, I guess, just like totally pushing back.
Yeah, you know
like
what?
Re-steers it to...
You know what it was? You know what this reminds me of, Eldis? Me and Eldis were both writing tutors in our college writing centers. When you saw someone with really shitty writing, you would do, it was the thing was called praise, question, polish, right? So your mom hits you with something fucking gross, right? She's like, we were, let's just take the spending the night thing, which you don't want to hear about. You're like, well, I'm glad the date went well. I don't need to know that you spent the night and that he put you through the fucking mattress. Maybe next time just tell me about what he does for work. What does he do for work, by the way? You know what I mean? Like, just that, where it's like, especially when your mom is so difficult, hit her with a little, praise to get the ego going, put the thing you didn't like, and then redirect. I think, college writing tutor kind of taught us something that also helps with sexually adventurous mothers in their old age.
Yeah.
And I think to go on the record, it's not that I'm upset that she's, I don't know, staying over with these guys or whatever. Again, it's just I don't want to hear about it kind of a thing.
Right.
Good for her, but like,
no, I know you're not. You're not mad that she's getting dicked down, but also, but that's all I'm saying is like, that's why it's like, hey, glad the date went well. You don't got to let me know you spent the night, but I'm interested to hear more about this guy. That's probably how you want to do it.
I do feel for you too, because I agree with what you said earlier, Stav. Like, yeah, I hate when people are like, oh, my parents fucking, that's disgusting. Like, once you are a certain age, it's like, yeah, whatever,
Yeah.
Old people still want to fuck too. Who cares?
Yeah.
But at the same time, this sounds like a thing where it's like, sometimes you just meet someone old. Like, your mom's like still going on so many dates and shit. Like, there's a level of like boy craziness that's like, just a little too like,
especially if he said he took a hiatus, so she's back in there.
Yeah.
It's like anytime someone's back doing something for the first time, like, even if it was a diet, you'd hear about keto. You'd be like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
To her, it happens to be like, getting on motorcycles. She feels young again. She's probably alienated her fucking friends. So all she has is you to talk about how she feels young again.
Yeah.
And that's another broader problem, by the way. You might want to be like, so why don't, who else do you talk to about this? It's like, you've recognized that your mom pushes people away. A long-term project might be getting other people in her life or getting her to examine that. But that's much more difficult, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the complicated problem behind the relatively simple problem of just not wanting to hear the details. So,
and why do you
enough.
think, like, what is she had falling outs about?
I don't know, kind of like the duration of my life. Like, there's been friends that she's super close with for a bit, and then they have a big falling out, or like, just, I don't know, a handful, not a ton, but a handful of men floating through. A stepdad for like 16 years, kind of like all these pieces, and it always inevitably ends with her being like, "Oh, I feel like I have nobody," but it's kind of because she like pushes everyone away.
Right.
She can't lose an argument, even if she's like objectively wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually people just get sick of that.
Of course, yeah.
And then she'll end up cutting them out if they say anything.
Yeah.
I've kind of like gone soft with it and just like never really said any. I've never pushed back too hard because I know she has that tendency. But also, I don't know, I guess like I'm her oldest child. I feel like she treats me a little bit different. So like she's also like less willing to kind of cut me off than others, I feel like.
Yeah, and
it's
listen,
complicated.
I would say definitely complicated, but I would also say it's a little bit and again, you don't have to fucking raise your parents. Don't do anything that feels like too much. The number one issue here, like I said, should be just politely redirect the conversations where you want them to go. But I do think you kind of owe it to yourself and also her to push back from time to time, to be the one that's like, no, don't behave that way. Or even if she like retells you a time where she was wrong, have those conversations about like, well, you kind of need to, you always want to win an argument even if you're wrong. Like, and I know that's hard. And I'm just saying that as somebody who has been trying to have those conversations with his parents about shit that they don't understand. And I will tell you, it feels like hitting your fucking head up against the wall. But sometimes you see like just a little glimmer of understanding. Yeah. Like, you won't make a lot of progress, I'll be honest with you, but it's more for you that you're the kind of person that doesn't allow them to live in their fantasy, right? That you're like, hey, when you're around me, we're going to be honest, right? And, I would just say that's a long-term note for anybody with a problematic, in certain ways, parent that they want to keep in their life. That's just sort of like a parting thought on top of the, get her to stop talking about getting fucking, having
getting
a real
fingered on a motorcycle.
Yeah. Anyway.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the insight, fellas. Thanks for chatting.
You got it, big dog. Good luck with your mom. Hope she finds stepdad number 2 any day now.
All right. Thanks, guys.
See Albanian lap hog.
Just a fan. That's all. His mom does sound pretty fun.
She does sound awesome.
I bet if you're a 60-year-old man, a single man in that town, she's got to be pick of the litter, dude.
Yeah. She sounds pretty cool. She's fucking staying the
Somebody
night.
get my eyes a nice straw. I wouldn't mind a sip. I wouldn't mind a sip of his mom, see what we're working with over there.
That is like, yeah, it's like a certain boy. It's like you don't want to hear about your every single first date that your friend has, or every like first or second date. Yeah, it's like, all right, mom, come on.
Yeah, I mean,
go get.
But you know what?
Dick.
You do well. There's a little bit where you do want to hear about it from your friends.
Yeah,
and then it gets old. But it's like you don't want to hear about it from your mom.
Yeah,
like you want to hear about the important ones from your mom. The same way you don't want to tell your parents about it. Like, and he's right. She is missing friends. She needs, like, I bet, like, I'm thinking about my mom's friends. If like one of them was like dating, they would eat that gossip up.
That's true.
But they're not. They've settled in. They're all living the grandma lifestyle now.
Yeah.
But if one of them just happened to start dating now, they would love every detail, right?
That's
but like
true.
if my mom started dating, I wouldn't be like fill me in on everything. I'd be like the same way I would when I fill her in about someone is when I want to be filled in. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I'm seeing someone. I'll just let her know that I'm seeing someone. It's not too serious. Don't get excited. Then when it gets serious enough, tell them a little bit about them.
Exactly.
And then finally meet them when you're like, it's really solid, right?
Exactly.
Anyway.